Hello, this is Victor. I'm here with a new painting video, a new weekly painting, and in this weekly painting I will paint this type of lion-like animal that is coming with the Kurnot hunters, not the Kurnot hunters, the Kurnot, so I don't know, the one from Bisgrave, okay? So I'm going to paint him in quite ochre colors, and then this hair will go in darker color. So I'm going to start applying Cyan sand. That is a very, as the name says, a very sandy color. Okay, it's a we call it a beige. Okay, and I think it will give quite a natural looking color. So I'm going to apply this all over. As you can see, it's quite thin. It's because it's in the wet palette, and it gets really thin in the wet palette. Okay, I have it for, I think now in the wet palette for 2 days, something like that. You can see that it's becoming quite thin. I try to keep my palette quite moisture. If it's not that, I like it when I do this type of paint jobs, but we have to be careful. There is the joints in this miniature are quite, plastic joints are quite visible, so we will need to work a little bit to make them less visible. So as you can see, it's easy to apply. We go fast. When the paint is thin, it's quite thin. This will not work over black prime. You have to work it over a light prime to have a nice looking color. Okay. So if you want to work like that, remember you will need quite a light gray or white or bone color as a prime. So I'm going to apply this, and I'm back when it's dry. Okay, so I can show you the next step. So this is how it looks like when we have applied the base, and now I'm going to use Gorgunta to do the hair around the neck. Gorgunda is a great wash, as you can see, to achieve this reddish brown, similar to Morphan brown. Okay, then you can use this crack brown, Death Cloud brown, and Morphan brown to highlight. Okay. So it's one color that I'm really enjoying together with this Nike Vine leather. And with this one you can also do very interesting coopers on top of silver. So I will do all this hair, and I'm back for the next step. Okay, now that the contours have dried, I'm going to use a white Seraphim Sepia on top of the pale part of the sand color, and this, as you can see, will pop up all the details. And we will make the skin, this color a little bit more brown and less yellow. So as you can see, I was quite a fast step. Of course, we will need to wait it dries before doing any further step. Try to avoid this pulling. Okay, and try to avoid that it's accumulating too much in some parts. don't forget any part, because it's the wash. Normally, if you want to look really nice, have to be applied in one layer, painting fast. Don't recommend to do just a portion, unless they are separated parts and they don't go together. But if it's like this, that more or less all the skin goes together, do it in one go. You can skip in that case the face, because we have the darker fur in the between, but the other parts it's better to do it in one go. Okay. Just double checking that I don't miss any part, and I will always just refresh. Try not to do this at the end because too much, because you can just make a disaster if you do it once it starts drying. Okay, I'll leave it like that, and I'm back for the next step. Okay, this is what it looks like once the wash have dried. So now I'm going to start working on the highlights, but first I will do the eyes and the teeth. So I'm taking white, I will put white on the teeth, and it's curious again what you keep doing as with teeth. Let's try to make something like that. Okay. Now we try to do the eye. Now I will use brown. Something like that. So let's go, and now we can start cleaning up the wash and working on the highlights. So I will go back to the base color that was Diane Sun. We are going to put it there where we want to highlight. Now here is a personal choice. We can decide if we want to keep the nose darker or not, and I will do it with the same brown that I paint the eyes. Then for second highlight, I have in my palette Flight 1 Flash, this one. So we're going to do this, we're going to use this as a second highlight. the lips, I'm applying directly fluid on flesh. Going back to okay, so you can see how I do the face. Now I'm going to do the body. So for example on this one I will apply first, we'll use the same process. Okay, we put first iron sand. Okay, and now we come with flayed one flesh. And we blend them if it's needed. The tricky part is going to be this back joint. Okay, we want to cover this one with paint by eliminating the shade. Okay, you can see I'm combining. Sorry if I don't speak too much, but when I keep very focused on something, it's sometimes difficult to concentrate and to speak at the same time. What I'm doing is just, as you can see, I apply first the iron sand and then I blend it with a little bit of flake one flakes to give this brightness. Okay. This part there was a little bit tricky, so I can use a little bit of HV88 to help me if needed. A little bit too thin, you can see. And this is one of the advantages you can see, and disadvantage at the same time, of the wet palette. So the paint was, I put it yesterday in the wet palette and it's still thin, but it has absorbed a little bit too much water. This way it's difficult to have full control. Okay, here I will apply it as well, the XV88. Here and here. Okay, just giving a different and additional level, so to help on smoothing the transitions to the shades. Okay. Here. So I guess at this point you have got the idea on how I'm highlighting the skin. So I will finalize the rest of this lion and I'm back. Okay, next step I'm going to use Willwood, Contours Willwood, and I will apply it on the closed nails. Okay, we do something. Try to be careful not to dirten the skin. Okay, you can see. So well, you can see how I did at the end all the skin of the. I would apply it as well on this type of. I don't know how this is called in English. At the extreme of the tail, and this spike that he has on the tail. Or she. We don't know if it's a he or she. Okay, so I will do the back pause and I'm back. Okay, next step, I'm going to use that cloud brown on the hair to give some highlights. Okay. In this tutorial, I'm focusing on doing the guy. I will not work on the armor, how I do the armor or the belts. Okay, I'm focusing on his skin and hair. If you are interested how I do the armor, I will do a tutorial soon on how I paint a full coordinate. And there I will explain how I do the green armor for the coordinates, okay? I'm thinking if I will do as well a weekly just for the armor, so you can see how I do it. It's been a little bit of experiment first, so as I was experimenting, I wanted to first to try it myself, and now that I know how to do it, I can show it. So you can see I'm just patiently painting some of the hairs with the death cloud brown. What I'm doing, I have Linux height, so in case I go too thick or I go into the shade part by mistake with death cloud, I come back with Linux height and then I clean up the program. Okay, this is how it looks like now, and one touch that I want to do, that I was forgetting about, is I want to use Baneblade Brown and do some edge highlight on this, and then I will use Reynolds height to blend it a little bit. No, Reynolds height. I will do a mixture here. And we do the same on the nails. But the nails we can go quite straightforward with the Reynolds with the red brown. We just apply like that. The nails close, I wanted to say.